How you guys doing? Today I wanted to talk about styling and detail wiring of a ficus. This right here is a Ficus microcarpa. Golden Gate is the variety. This right here has been growing in this pot for the last 3 years. Since then it's just started to develop a lot of aerial roots. Today I'm going to position the tree. I'm going to defoliate it. I'm going to wire it out and I'm going to put it in a different pot. So I'm going to spend the next half hour taking all the leaves off, and I will show you what that looks like in just a second. Okay, thank you. How about that chainsaw, huh? Just a couple things really quick with this. It's been defoliated. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it for structure. How you guys doing? I wanted just to show you this real quick. This is going to be the front of this ficus. There's a big dead area here that originally was kind of put in the back. It's got some interesting dead areas. I'm going to carve it out. I'm going to make it a hollow. There's also a couple shoots here that are going to be removed. But this will be a focal point in the trunk. Also, this kind of displays the most depth. You have a couple backs. You have a potential for a new top. Then you have a big heavy back for depth. And we'll work on taking a lot of these out a little bit and bringing them further out. I'm going to bring the camera close so I can show you how I set the structure, and I will show you that in 1 second. Okay? I just want to talk a little bit about structure. Looking at these branching, now that you've taken all of the leaves off, it's really easy to see the structure on this tree. And whenever I trim my tree, I'm always trying to make it twiggier the further out I go. If there's some clutter or some areas where there's a bunch of different sub branches all coming from the same location, I always cut them to twos. If you look at this structure, you can see there's one down here, that's 2. When you come up here, there's 2. And when you come over here, there's 4. When you come out here, there's 2. And then there's 2 on this. And then there's 2, 2. But then it becomes redundant. I want more and more twigginess as it gets further out toward the end of the branch. If you can see this, I don't know if you can see it or not, but if you look, if there's long straight sections, I either with wire incorporate a bend in that straight section or cut it off and wait for it to back bud closer. This one, for the sake of wiring, I won't cut this off. What I'll do is cut it back till I have a nice fork of 2 and wait for it to back bud, which it will. Now that we've defoliated it, we'll get a lot of back budding in here, but we still need to bend this, incorporate some movement and some interest in this design. And later when it pops, maybe in a year, maybe in 2 years, then I'll take it all the way back there to increase the taper and the motion in the branches. Looking at this, I work my way in the branch and work my way out. Come out to the sections. This is all good. I'll give this a little shortening. That'll redistribute the auxin and have the back bud in here so we can use that later. Coming up to this branch here, these are still forked into 2s, although they're mighty close. When I come out here, this becomes long and redundant. We're going to take it to a shorter branch, ultimately taking it even further once it back buds. Taking a look at this, there's no twigginess on this yet. Just cut the tip to make sure that it back buds sideways. Come to the other side, this is where we have 4. We're going to find the 2 branches that are positioned best, taking the outside and the middle. And the reason why we took the middle is, again, it's really long and straight. There's not a lot of taper on this. Bringing this back to 2s immediately creates more taper and it's tighter in. Remember, we're always trying to become more compact with our trees. Come back in here, looks pretty good. We'll trim this guy to 2s. We'll come back in here, trim him to 2s, trim these tips a little bit. And again, it looks like you've taken a lot of foliage off here, but what you have done is set the skeletal frame. Just kind of want to show you real quick, I cut it to structure. This is, let's see where I'm at here. This is the amount of foliage that was cut. Just kind of wanted to show you also, I carved this section out. I used a hand tools, flex cut. These ficuses actually don't have hard wood. They rot away very quickly, but they also callus over very quickly. This one right here was from last year. I'll show you a close-up of that in just a second. This will continue to roll over I did aggravate the edge with a blade and I sealed it. I just hit it with Lysol in water 50-50 blend to kind of help retard some of the rot. And I put some sealant along the edges. That'll give the cambium time to start to roll over without dying back. Is just to try to have some interest. Here's some close-ups of the deadwood. Once that rolls over, it'll look a lot more attractive. Here's the one from last year. You can kind of see how quickly they roll over. This is the front right here. So I'm going to start wiring it and I'll show you what it looks like in just a minute, okay? Thanks. I just wanted to kind of show you the wiring. I didn't show you the exact how we wire because I did that on the other video, but I just kind of wanted to show you. So we can get this cleaned up, and you can see they have layers. This guy's going to have beautiful layers. Arranged, not quite arranged yet, not even started. And I have a really nice pot that I'm going to put it in. Let me back this up a little bit. This is a green clay tokonami pot that we're going to put it in. It's considerably shallower. It's oval. It is an old chop pot, probably about 40 years old, and there's the chop. For those of you that know tokonami pots with the green clay, it's a fairly rare pot. If it does go in this pot, and this pot is perfect for it, this will be a personal collection tree. But I'll show you the rest of it tomorrow, hopefully, as long as it doesn't rain. But it's going to be a beautiful ficus. Thanks for watching, everybody.